This is La Paz, on the Sea of Cortez, on the southern tip of Mexico's Baja Peninsula. Now, this is a place that was first discovered in 1535 by the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortez. It was immortalized by John Steinbeck mid-20th century in his novel The Pearl. It's a place that's hosted Jesuit missionaries and pirates and, well, traders from all over the world. This place is different. Now, of course, in the United States these days, we know it mostly for its natural beauty and for its sport fishing and for its ecotourism. For me, one of the best ways to start exploring a place is to visit the local market. Even better when you're planning to do a little cooking, beachside cooking in my case. I had a couple of ideas of what I might want to cook, but all that went out the window as soon as I got into the market and saw all that seasonal bounty. On my way out, I stumbled on a beautiful surprise. A little tortilla factory at the entrance to the market that had some unique local cheese. It was just what I needed to complete my dinner plans. One of the greatest discoveries that you can ever make in a Mexican market is to go into the places that have the cheeses, because the cheese in every locale is going to be completely different. Here I kind of found a gold mine. I got a square cheese that's got a little bit of age to it. It's still a fresh cheese, but it's a little denser texture. And then I got the absolute freshest, most milky, delicious fresh cheese called a panela, still dripping with whey. Some tortillas for the road, and I'm all set. I packed up all my ingredients and headed to the marina on the edge of town. I joined up with my friend Emily and her co-workers Carlos and Juan Carlos from Baja Expeditions. Buenos dias. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi, I'm Rick.
My name is Carlos.
Hi, Carlos. Nice to meet you.
Hey,
good to see you. I got my food here. Looks
right.
like you're ready for us here. Let's go.
All right.
You ready?
Okay.
Just watch your head on the way in.
Let me give you a hand.
We were heading out onto the Sea of Cortez to a pretty extraordinary little island called Espiritu Santo, where we were planning to explore, kayak, cook, and stay overnight in one of their camps. It was about 90 minutes by boat to get to the camp on the island, but we'd barely pulled away from the dock when we were greeted by some playful dolphins. And just as soon as we reached the open water, we came across a school of flying manta rays. I'd never seen anything like it in my life.
Big schools.
Yeah. They're coming right at us. They're going to come right into the boat.
Watch out, duck.
Flying right over. Even before you arrive on the island, you understand why Espiritu Santo is protected as a UNESCO biosphere. This place is really special. The views all around were spectacular, but as you might imagine, that didn't deter me from immediately searching out what kind of equipment I was going to be cooking with. I'm looking forward to cooking here today. This is very cool. So this is your kitchen tent.
This is the kitchen.
Over here.
I'm just gonna set the cooler here. Huh?
Okay. Since my menu is so grill oriented, I gotta see what you've got set up for us here.
Can you tell what it might have used to have been?
This is kind of it's a washing machine drum.
There we go. Recycling.
So here is. It's a good use of things, you know, give it a new life. But I've never cooked in a washing machine drum before, so this is going to be an adventure for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, so here's your accommodations.
Okay.
You've heard of camping,
Yes.
but have you seen glamping?
That's beautiful.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Little window in the back.
I think after everything that we're doing today that I'm going to really appreciate that. That's very super cool. We had a few hours before dinner, so we went off exploring. Emily and Carlos took me on a hike. There are some super cool rock formations and a whole slew of unique plants that thrive in this unique environment. Wow, this is fascinating.
Yeah, you guys can really see all the weathering happening right through here. From
It's
wind.
crazy. Looks like water's just coursed over this for centuries. The mangroves like to be obviously in salty soil or salty water.
Yep.
Is that the only thing that defines them?
Well, where we'll find them will be in salty or very close to shore areas. We actually have a mangrove that's called a sweet mangrove here. Botoncillo. That one actually you'll find on the top of the mountains. That one
Oh, really?
up in the hill. Yep. And that one just is salt spray. Or
They
wind,
love their salt.
So on. Yeah. But
I know a few chefs that way too.
extra salt, right? That works too. That works too. But yeah, these guys have the ability, right, to excrete salt throughout the leaves. They have a little salt gland that can excrete salt. And so these plants, really what they have is they have the ability to separate the salt from the water. So it could be like
is that right?
it could be like a water maker itself, right?
That's
or it could be a
cool.
desalinator itself.
It seems like everyone that hangs out on the Sea of Cortez loves to kayak. I want to join the club, even though I'd never been in one. But Emily was right. I was hooked as soon as we left the shore because it puts you so close to the water and the marine life. I am loving this. I'm going to become a kayaker now.
Nice.
Shall we go out to that island out there?
Sure. Absolutely. There's tons of fish that hang out there.
Cool.
I think maybe we should go check out the mask. You want to see the mask?
Where's the mask?
I hate pointing it out to people. I like them to find it. Do you like to find objects in the clouds?
Oh, occasionally.
Okay. Then you might be able to find it.
Oh, I see it. No, I see it. I see it. It's kind of recessed in there.
It is. Yep. He's kind of eerie.
Very eerie. That's wild. I could see how somebody would be kind of freaked out if they came by and saw that.
The fishermen out here, they have all kinds of stories about the island.
Oh, I bet they do.
Nice. We're getting the wave action from behind. You want to surf?
Ah, I do.
Okay, you just gotta lean back a little bit and keep paddling, and you'll be able to feel the wave pick you up. Nice.
The wind was picking up, so we headed back to shore so I could get started cooking. So sometimes even in paradise the weather doesn't cooperate and it's gotten kind of windy around here, but I'm still going to show you some great beachside food. I'm going to start with a marinated cheese dish with a little bit of fruit salsa. I'm just going to simply slice it up into long slices. This is a cheese that they call queso cuadrado, square cheese, here in Baja California. I'm going to lay it onto the platter in shingled, overlapping slices. Now, Mexican papayas are available in the United States a lot, but boy, when you're in Mexico, that's the place to get the maredols, the beautiful, deep, orange-colored ones. I'm going to take a spoon and scrape the seeds out of there. About a quarter of this will be the right amount for me for this particular preparation. You slice the skin off of it. It's a thin skin. And then I'm going to cut it into small cubes. Next, a little diced red onion. A little bit of ripe avocado, cutting around the pit. I'm going to do a simple beachside dice right up against the skin, scoring it up to the skin but not through the skin. A few of these little limon criollo or native limes squeezed through a Mexican lime squeezer. These have a little bit more aromatics to them. They certainly have a higher acidity, and they make everything they touch seem beautiful and bright. Now, my two main seasonings for this are going to be a little bit of cilantro, doing a fine chop of it, which is really the very thin slice. And we just hope that most of it stays on the board rather than getting blown all over the place. Right in there. One of these smoky, slightly sweet chipotles will add a lovely zestiness. I cut it open and brush out the seeds, and then finely chop the chipotle. That'll go in with the rest of the ingredients. I have a little salt here. This is sea salt, local sea salt, to sprinkle over the whole thing. And then you've got a beautiful fruit salsa, perfect for the beach. The fishing in this area is so incredible, and we hit it right at the height of yellowtail season. In fact, Juan Carlos managed to land a fabulous specimen from one of the local fishermen. He cleaned and he filleted it for me to grill. What a treat to get to cook with a fish of such immaculate freshness. All the produce in Mexico is so ripe. And when I think about grilling on a beach, I just want to use some of that ripe stuff. So I'm going to start by laying tomatoes and onions and chilies on the grill. I'm going to put some ripe tomatoes on the grill for a salsa. I'm going to throw on some of the local green chilies. Now, these have a really bright, almost citrusy kind of flavor, but you could use any kind of fresh green chili. Some green onions, knob onions. I wanted to make this a little more substantial, so I'm going to put a few of these nopal cactus petals onto the grill. Now, because this is sort of rustic cooking, I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil to drizzle onto the things that I think need it, which are the cactus petals and these little knob onions. Now, to make a marinade for that beautiful yellowtail, I'm going to start with some garlic here. And the wind is helping me to take all of the papery skins away. And I'm going to take about 6 cloves of that garlic, crush them, and chop them fine. Chopped garlic goes into the bowl along with some olive oil. And then I'm going to cut some key limes and squeeze those into the same bowl. To that, I'm going to add some sea salt and then a little bit of black pepper. It smells so good, as do all of those peppers grilling right behind me there. Now, the fish. I don't think I've ever seen such a beautiful piece of yellowtail. Stir that all up with the fish, and we'll let that marinate while we're making the salsa. Now, with these chilies, you could skin them or not skin them as you wish. They have a fairly thin skin. It depends on what you're looking for. You like that rustic flavor? You cut the tops of them off, scrape the seeds out, and then just chop them all together. The skins of these tomatoes come right off if you choose not to use them in your salsa. Now, these little knob onions, I wanted primarily for the knobs, so I didn't worry that the tops got a little bit crispy, because I'm not going to actually use that part of it. I'm going to slice the rest of it into rings. Now Now our last little bit here will be the nopales. They cook completely soft, and once they've cooled off, you won't get any of that little, well, that mucilaginous part that a lot of people don't like. A little bit of Mexican oregano to bring out the rustic flavors. Of course, you have to crush the whole leaf oregano between your palms to release its essence. Some sea salt, and the salsa is finished. And I'm ready to put the fish on the grill. Make sure that the fish has plenty of oil on it. One of the mistakes that most people make when grilling fish is to try to flip it too early. When it's ready, you should be able to just move it back and notice it's free. Like that one, see, it's free. So I know that it's crusted nicely. Can turn it over, see how beautiful that is. I think this one's ready too. Yeah. And then I'm gonna let them cook until, well, they're a little less resilient than they are right now. And under firm pressure, they have a little flake. Now, you don't have to get sand in your shoes to enjoy some good beach-style cooking. And when I'm thinking about cooking on the beach, I'm always thinking about the grill, a fire going there. And I love to grill fruit for a dessert. It's kind of unusual, I know, but it really works beautifully. And when I'm thinking about fruit in Mexico, I'm thinking about plantains a lot of times. I'm going to show you different stages of ripeness for plantain here. When you buy them in the grocery store, oftentimes you'll get green plantains. Taste like a potato. No sweetness at all. As they sit on your countertop for, say, a week or sometimes more, they will darken, darken, darken all the way to what I call black ripe. Black ripe means really sweet plantains. So I'm going to grill these plantains, but I'm going to grill them in their skins. I'm just simply going to cut them in half like that, put them onto a tray and take them over to the grill. Now I've got the grill heated really hot on one side, but I'm going to put these plantains on the other side of the grill, and I'm going to let these cook for about 20 minutes or so. There's no heat under this side of the grill. It's just going to get some of the spillover heat from the hot side. Take about 20 minutes until they're very, very soft. But in the meantime, I'm going to make a little topping to go on them. I love nuts that are cooked in butter. So I've got a couple tablespoons of butter that I'm going to put into that pan over the hot side of the grill. And then I've got some pecans here that I'm going to put in there with it, and a little bit of honey, plus a special little ingredient that we'll add at the very end. If you take the butter all the way to brown, it'll really increase the nutty flavor of these pecans that I'm going to break into the pan now. When you can smell that the pecans are really aromatic and they're beginning to toast, that'll be a very clear aroma. Then add to it some honey. This would actually be a great place for agave syrup or maple syrup. You can choose what you want for sweetening here. Now, I promised you a little special thing, little añejo tequila. You could use some dark rum, maybe a little bourbon would be good in this as well, just to give it a little flavoring. I'm going to set that to the side and let that cool a little bit while our plantains continue to cook. I can tell that they're ready because they got nice give, but you can see that the skins have really blistered. They're blackened now in that cooking time. This will give you quite a different texture than frying plantains, if that's the only version that you're used to. Now I'm going to show you kind of an interesting way, I think, to serve these guys. Take them all out of their skins. I'm going to present these on banana leaves or plantain leaves. So I've got a package that I bought that's a frozen package of banana leaves. And then I'm going to take one piece of it and cut it into 6 squares. So slice the grilled plantains into about 1/4 to 1/2 inch slices. I'm going to slide these onto the hot part of the grill, and we're going to let the plantain leaf both char a little bit underneath, soften, and definitely perfume the plantains that are on the top. I'm just going to move the plantains over there, reheat this mixture. Now when there's something sweet, I usually like to intensify that sweetness with a little sprinkling of salt. Pastry chefs will always tell you that that's a good idea. And I'm going to put just a little bit of black pepper in there. Now that's mostly because I want to add a kind of spiciness that I think will go good with the flavor of the grill. So I'm going to let this reheat for just a second, and then we'll take it all back to the other side. And take one of your banana leaf packages there. Some of the brown butter pecans with honey and that añejo tequila, a little salt and black pepper. I have some berries and some Mexican crema, which is like the creme fraiche, that I'm going to spoon over the top of them. A bit of that, of berries on a dish like this. And there you have what I consider a great beach-style dessert. Well, in spite of the wind, we have food and beverage. This is sort of a little funny twist on a michelada with orange and lime.
Thank you.
Salud.
Salud.
My idea was you just go into this thing, since this is rustic cooking, and you just make yourself a little tostada, piling on some of the salsa, and see how you like it. Here it is, the jurel with the all grilled salsa that has nopales in it. And I don't know why I'm doing this, but it just sounded like the right thing to do. Chicharrón over the top of it, crunchy chicharrón. I thought with this fish it would be really good just to have some kind of mixed into that all grilled salsa there. Okay. Salud, señores.
Salud.
Thank you for a fabulous adventure.
Thank you.